Hey everybody, the Respiral here, and welcome back to more Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Okay, hopefully this will be the final session, although I know for a fact it's going to take a while, but that's the hope, that's the plan, to finish this game, so then it's done. I know it seems like I'm rushing to have it finished, it's mostly just so that I don't have, you know, like a month break from it before I manage to finish it, because I would like to see a conclusion to the story before I forget all the details. Either way, December 20, District Court, Courtroom number 4. What just happened? Apollo burst in and interrupted. Yeah, there we go. Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. It's very simple. There isn't much to explain. The defendant, Miss Athena Sykes, might not be innocent. Okay, at least he says might. So it's not like he's certain, he's just, you know, questioning the possibility. What are you talking about? The case from 7 years ago has been settled. I'm just hoping that through recording this, I don't have any, like, voice issues. Because I've recorded a lot of this game. And talking constantly for... how long would it have been? 6 hours? If this is like 2 to 3 hours, that would be 9 hours. Put some strain on your voice, you know? I'm not talking about the past case, or about the past here. I'm talking about the present case. It's still not clear who killed Clay Terran. Oh. But Apollo, why would you... Miss Sykes, please listen quietly to what I have to say. What in the world is Apollo trying to do? Your Honor, please allow me a little of the court's time. But this is a trial for the case from 7 years ago. Miss Blackwell, I'd like to ask a favour of you. Just as you lost someone close to you, I lost someone close to me too. I'm sure you want to know the real truth of what happened as much as I do. Apollo? Sure, you know I'm all for the truth. Now let's see you expose the princess's guilt. Judge, I give my permission. Continue with the trial. Very well. Is that alright with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objections. Let's hear Mr. Justice's testimony. I'll have the police's investigation report brought immediately. Not you too, Edgeworth. I really hope it's because you have something up your sleeve. Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. As you wish. Let's review the case of the murder of Mr. Clay Terran. It was made clear in the previous trial that Solomon Starbuck was not his killer. Therefore, the true culprit was someone else. On that day, this culprit waited for the astronauts in boarding lounge 1. When the two men made their escape out of the Space Museum, the killer attacked Mr. Terran with the same type of knife that was used 7 years ago. The murderer then escaped into the Space Museum. Next, Director Yuri Cosmos switched the launch pads. After that, the culprit exited the Space Museum and escaped via boarding lounge 2. Therefore, this trial must make clear who Mr. Terran's true killer was. In other words, we must discover who it was that escaped through the Space Museum that day. Thank you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Mr. Wright, is the defense ready? Yes, Your Honor. I'd better rearrange my evidence. Of course. Relevant evidence swapped into the court record. Alright. Now then, Mr. Justice, your testimony, if you please. If in you please. Okay. Apollo Justice's accusation. I suspected Miss Sykes of the murder of Clay Terran. My growing suspicions were confirmed when this incriminating evidence presented itself. In addition, she's the only one who could have utilised the launchpad switch to escape. That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes on the charge of murder. Wow, alright. Jeez. Oh no, Phoenix isn't looking too great. He's got that long face expression going on. Order. Order in the court. Mr. Justice, you realise you are charging your own co-worker with murder, don't you? Yes, Your Honour. But that is the conclusion my investigation has led me to. But Apollo, why? How could you suspect me too? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I don't get it. Just what did you find out over the past few days to make you think this? I guess we're gonna find out. Apollo Justice's accusation. Just press everything. Suspected Miss Sykes of the murder of Claire Terran. What first made you suspicious of Miss Sykes? It all started when Miss Sykes and I were investigating the crime scene. When she saw the weapon that killed Mr. Terran, my bracelet reacted. She said she'd never seen the knife before, but my bracelet told me otherwise. And then, every time after that, my bracelet would react when she talked about the case. Poor Apollo must have been beside himself during that investigation. I didn't know what to do or think. I couldn't even sleep. In that condition, I knew I wouldn't be any good in court. So I decided to wear an eye patch, so I wouldn't be able to perceive any of her tells. So that's why Apollo was acting so strangely. Ah. It was all from suspicion. But the reason Miss Sykes unconsciously reacted to the knife that way is because she stabbed her mother's murderer with one identical to it 7 years ago. But that knife was also the murder weapon that was used to kill Clay Terran. My bracelet could have also reacted to her because she knew she was his killer too. I guess he has a point. But my bracelet wasn't the only reason I became suspicious of her. On to the next statement. My growing suspicions were confirmed when this incriminating evidence presented itself. Yeah, the lighter. That's the lighter that was found in the Space Museum with her fingerprints on it, right? But even if it seems decisive, there must be other facts we don't know about it yet. If that's so, go ahead and prove it then. Look, honestly, I don't want to believe it's true either, but Miss Sykes was the only one who was in the Space Museum at the time of the murder. But Mr. Justice, Miss Sykes had absolutely no motive to kill Mr. Terran. 7 years ago, Miss Sykes lived at the Cosmos Space Center. It wouldn't be strange if she had some kind of connection to him. Besides, people sometimes kill for motives we can't even imagine. I know you've seen plenty of cases like that in your own career, Mr. Wright. I still can't believe this. How can you actually suspect Athena, Apollo? Oh dear. In addition, she's the only one who could have utilized the launchpad switch to escape. Isn't it possible that somebody else used that same escape route? I'm afraid not, Mr. Wright. Why not? Recall there is a security camera in boarding lounge 1 aimed at the launchpad door. It's the camera that captured Mr. Terran and Mr. Starbuck. But there's also another security camera in boarding lounge 2. It recorded Mr. Terran's killer, or rather, Miss Sykes, coming out of the Space Museum. A camera in boarding lounge 2. First I've heard of it, but it makes sense. Athena said she had snuck into the Space Museum the night before the incident, and then was overcome and passed out until around noon the next day. I was out until about noon of the next day. I didn't even know about the explosions. When I woke up, nobody was around, so I just went out into boarding lounge 2. That must have been when the camera captured her. And that's what made Apollo suspect her even more. But wait a minute. In that case, it most likely recorded the true culprit as well. It did not. That's a negative on that one too, Mr. Wright. In the footage taken after the incident, Miss Sykes is the only one who appears. What? Why? Oh dear. Order. Order in the court. That can't be. But if it is, then it is incredibly incriminating. Wasn't it you who proved in the previous trial that the way the true culprit escaped was via the Space Museum after the pods had been switched? That pads had been switched? A fact you previously proved, turned on its ear, leaving your client high and dry. I must say, that is vintage Phoenix right. Oh, right, okay. Is this the final statement? Yeah, it is. That is why I wish to indict Miss Sykes on the charge of murder. Believing in your client to the end is a basic principle of good defense. Shouldn't you extend that same principle to your own co-worker? You're probably right. Maybe I'm not even fit to be a lawyer. However, I don't care. This case is special to me. Clay was my friend. And that's why I just have to know the truth. Apollo suspected his trusted co-worker of killing his friend. To dispel his doubts, he investigated on his own, but that only led to more doubts. Apollo must have been really struggling with this. Well, Apollo may have doubts, but... I'll say it again. Athena Sykes isn't the murderer. Then I have only one thing to say. Evidence is everything in court. Well, Mr. Wright, think you have the concrete proof to knock down my arguments? Your arguments have been very clear, Mr. Justice. And your facts appear to be indisputable. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think of my theory? It looks like not even you can deny it. Miss Sykes was the only one who used the only possible escape route. Under these circumstances, there can be no other suspect but the defendant. Unless... You think there was an alternative escape route? Is that what you think, Mr. Wright? Is that what you think, Mr. Wright? Is that what you think, Phoenix? Was there an alternative escape route? Of course. Yes, of course there must have been. Just don't ask me what. You're just bluffing again, aren't you? Me? Bluff? No way! He knows me too well. It's fine, Mr. Wright. Even a bluff would suit me just fine. As long as you can... clear up this doubt inside me. Wait, so is that what this is all about? I want to believe in Athena. I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really fully trust her. So that you can... really trust me? It seems your junior partner has just showed us what trials are truly all about. I believe you're right. We prosecutors painstakingly question every detail in pursuit of the defendant, while we lawyers believe in and defend our clients to the end. When both sides go all out against each other, that's when we discover the truth. Precisely. And when the battle is over, we will understand the true meaning of trust. That is exactly what trials are about, wouldn't you agree? Yes, I couldn't ignore the seed of doubt that was growing inside me, so I decided I needed to face it head on. No matter what the truth is that's waiting ahead, I won't be afraid. That's so like Apollo. Always uber earnest about things like this. Mr. Justice, I vow to dispel every last bit of doubt in your heart. Good. Because I want to believe in Miss Sykes again. You're really hoping there was an alternative route, aren't you, Apollo? But if I use the process of elimination, there really aren't that many possibilities. Director Cosmos was at the southern exit, leaving only the control room and the corridor to the Space Museum. Which door could the culprit have escaped through? Come on, Mr. Wright, where do you think the culprit escaped to? I would say the Space Museum. Purely because I remember there being like a leaf on the floor that I am pretty sure even as I saw it, I was like, is there a window open? It looked like a leaf had blown in, because we was on about, well, we said like, were they stuck to someone's shoe? It's like, it's not crushed enough. So, yeah, I would say the space corridor. Or the museum corridor. They really only could have escaped to the corridor to the Space Museum. All they had to do was use the unconscious Mr. Starbuck's prince to get through the door.
Objection!
It appears that all you're trying to establish is Miss Sykes' guilt. If the culprit used that route, the only exit would have been into Boarding Lounge 2. Not true. The logical conclusion of your argument is that the killer is none other than the defendant. I knew it. That's the only way it could be, huh? If the culprit escaped into the corridor that leads to the Space Museum, then I guess it's true. The only exit would have been into Boarding Lounge 2. But Miss Sykes was the only person. Captured by the Boarding Lounge 2 security camera. I investigated the crime scene thoroughly. But the only place the culprit could have escaped to was the Space Museum corridor. There weren't any other secret corridors or anything. So that leaves us with no other conclusion to draw but that Athena Sykes was the culprit. What could the answer be? Was there really no other escape route? Thanks, old nerd. Appreciate it. How's it going? But hold on a second. What if... What are we trying to establish? The leaf. Where did those mysterious leaves we saw in the corridor come from? They blow in? Maybe they're a clue to the culprit's real escape route. I think it is possible that the culprit escaped into the Space Museum, but then came out using a route other than into Boarding Lounge 2. Oh? Launchpad 1 and the Space Museum were switched after the bombing, meaning the Space Museum corridor was moving along the rail at the time, which is exactly when an alternative escape route opened up for our culprit. Are you kidding me? Judging by the intense look in your eyes, I take it you're serious. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Do tell. Where could the culprit have gone... Wait. Where could the culprit have gone from the museum corridor besides Boarding Lounge 2? I'm trying to move the hand. But it would be like here, wouldn't it? Or like around here. I think I know where we're going with this. Pretty sure. We found something odd while investigating the museum corridor this afternoon. Namely, a few dead leaves on the floor. Considering where dead leaves come from, they point us to exactly where the culprit escaped to. Yes, I remember seeing some leaves myself. Do you mean... Yep. While the Space Museum was in motion, just beyond the corridor's safety door, was an alternative place that the culprit could use to escape. In other words, the culprit's real escape route was... It's not going to tell us. The area outside the Space Center. I mean, technically it did tell us. No, oh, you're freaking insane! Do you know how impossible that would be? That corridor is level with the 3rd floor. Even if the culprit tried to leap to the outside wall of the Space Center building, they would fall to their death. Ordinarily, yes. But after the bombing incident, the culprit could make use of a certain item. And what item was it exactly, Mr. Wright? Alright, this is what the culprit used to leap to the outside wall of the main building. What they used. What do we have? Oh, okay. I didn't know we had that in evidence. The ladder. It was right next to the boarding lounge. Also, it was placed against the boarding lounge. An emergency ladder? There was an emergency ladder in the 4th floor robotics lab. And it was used that day after the explosions to help evacuate people. Miss Blackwell herself used that ladder to escape down to the ground level. Recall that the launch pads were switched after the ladder was lowered. Jeez. The corridor would have passed by the ladder while the pads were being switched. And that's when the culprit literally sprang into action. Ooh. And leapt onto the ladder. What? Who would have imagined? Well, it is an alternate escape route. We've opened up that possibility. Order. Order in the court. Well, an alternative escape route seems to have emerged. Which means someone other than Miss Sykes could have been the culprit, right? Making things up on the fly in an attempt to sway the court again, are we, Mr. Wright? Your theory has so many holes it puts Swiss cheese to shame. Alright then, name one. I have here detailed information about the Space Center. According to this, the distance between the museum corridor and the main building during movement is... Ooh, a full 20 feet. 20 feet. You're pulling my leg, right? In addition, the corridor is 3 floors from the ground, or roughly 50 feet. What's more, the culprit would be leaping to a precarious place. An unstable ladder. Human beings feel fear in dangerous situations. It's a basic survival instinct. Also, they've definitely highlighted fear as like a hint. Which is obvious what we need to present next. Because of that. An ordinary person would certainly hesitate before jumping. Or even freeze in fear and not jump at all. Objection! True, but we're not dealing with an ordinary person. But the culprit had just murdered someone. They weren't in an ordinary state of mind. Objection! Or more so, they weren't an ordinary person. Nevertheless, why would they have taken that kind of risk? They could have waited for the switch to be complete and escaped to boarding lounge 2. Objection! Because there was a security camera in boarding lounge 2. The culprit knew they would be recorded if they left the Space Museum that way. Objection! In that case, the culprit could have hidden in the museum until things settled down, and then blended in with the other people after the museum was opened. That's a good point. But you claim that despite all this, the culprit took a 20-foot death-defying leap. And all in the brief moment, the corridor and ladder passed by each other. That's also a good point. They would have needed a running start while the corridor was moving to make that jump. If their timing was off or if they couldn't jump far enough, it would have been instant death. What kind of person would attempt something like that? Stop bringing up good points, Edgeworth. This true culprit of yours is nothing but a figment of your imagination. Why do you always have to point out every flaw? That's the prosecutor's job. To poke holes in your theories. Mr. Edgeworth's right, that does sound pretty insane. The culprit would have to be someone who feels no fear, like a stuntman, and there it is. But everyone feels fear on some level. Wait, right? That's it! Wait a minute. Yes, we have the psych profile. I've got it this time. I can prove that there is someone who could have used this alternate escape route. Oh, can you now? This proves the possibility of a person who could have used this alternate escape route. Or alternative. Where's the psych profile? Oh, page 2. Whoops. The Phantom's psych profile. The subject's emotions rarely fluctuate and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. Ta-da! What's that, Mr. Wright? This is a certain person's very interesting psych profile. The subject doesn't experience feelings like normal people do. In other words, this person doesn't feel happiness, sadness, or fear. Doesn't feel fear. Right. You can't be serious. Without the constraint of fear. He could easily do what an ordinary person wouldn't dare. Just as you or I could do a broad jump on the ground, without the slightest fear. This subject could make a 20-foot leap, 50 feet up in the air. He could choose this extreme way of escaping without hesitation. So you're saying that a person without fear... The alternative route would be quicker and eliminate the chance they'd be spotted. Did I read that right? Oh, that to a person without fear. The alternative route would be quicker and eliminate the chance that they'd be spotted. Yep. That's definitely pretty extreme, Mr. Wright. But was there such a person there at the scene? Yes. The Phantom. That mysterious, shadowy figure who keeps popping up. Oh dear. The Phantom? Again? I knew the Phantom was there behind the scenes of the Space Center bombing, but I wasn't sure if he was connected to the murder of Clay Terran as well. However, now it's all clear. The Phantom is the one who not only bombed the Space Center, but also killed Mr. Terran. What? Oh man, things are getting interesting. What the hell is this music? I just started to hear, like, guitar. So order in the car. Order, I say. Mr. Wright, please continue. There were just too many similarities between this case and the one from 7 years ago. But why, you may ask? It can only be because both incidents were the work of the same Phantom. So then, this Phantom is the only one who killed Clay, or is the one who killed Clay. But who is he? This Phantom has been haunting this case, pulling the strings in the background. Who could this unidentified international spy be? Right, this escape route must have been part of the Phantom's plan from the start, as was tricking Director Cosmos into switching the launch pads. The bomb on the second floor was meant to make the elevator and stairs unusable. That's why he gave advance warning and planted the bombs where he did. Yes, I think you're right. But it doesn't explain this one last thing. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. But it was such a pain. Why couldn't they have used the ladders in the other rooms? The robotics lab wasn't the only room with an emergency ladder. But he couldn't have made that leap unless he was certain which one it would be. So you mean... the Phantom must be someone who knew that particular ladder was going to be used. Oh. Oh. Wait. That's right. Who could it be? How obvious are they going to make it? Wait a minute. Very obvious. So I lowered my emergency ladder, like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. So basically, Fulbright. Really? That seems unlikely. Then again, Fulbright has been acting rather strange. For this, for the past 2 cases, technically. He was, overly helpful. He didn't know which side was actually justice. It was... yeah. It could be. I don't know. It just seems kind of like a shot in the dark. Miss Blackwell lowered the ladder after being told by the detective leading the... What? There we go. We know who it is. Or we think we do. You've got to be kidding me. Did you figure it out right? Do you know who the Phantom is? Yes, I do. Who is it? Who killed Clay? What? Our mystery spy, known as the Phantom, is none other than... Really? Fulbright. That's... what? Oh, I'm confused. After the explosions, a member of the staff crossed paths with a certain detective. I was on duty on the 4th floor. It was quite the madhouse, I tell ya. As for the detective who was leading the evacuation from the 4th floor, he had a very specific objective in mind. So I lowered my emergency ladder like the detective leading the evacuation told me to. Oh, the music is eerie. It's just like wind. His objective was to secure his own escape route. We lowered an emergency ladder from a 4th floor window and escaped that way. Once everyone else got out safely, I made my way down too and headed to the shelter. This is a detective you all know. He's even the lead detective on the current case. He's been the lead detective on every case. I'm pretty sure. He appears to be a very emotional man, but his psych profile says that he is without emotion. Take that! Fulbright. What are you saying? You mean the Phantom is Detective Bobby Fulbright? I nearly called him Fobby. Exactly. We were all taken in by his fake persona. Detective Fulbright's real identity is the Phantom. Doo-doo. Bum bum bum. Order. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, how could this be? That's easy, Your Honor. Detective Fulbright was leading the 4th floor evacuation effort. Our first clue is that he made no attempt to have any other ladder put to use. The ladder in the robotics lab is the only one he ordered to be lowered. The second is that he directed everybody at the basement shelter via this ladder. Verily, it was all a part of his plan to create an escape route. After Detective Fulbright saw to it that the ladder was lowered from the robotics lab, he went to the lounge where he killed Clay Terran and escaped into the Space Museum. What happened? Wait a minute. What happened to the Hope Capsule? I just noticed. Obviously, I don't think it's going to show it afterwards. Oh, it'd be with the autopsy report. No, I just realised the Hope's Capsule is what Clay was carrying. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, didn't it disappear after he was killed? Yeah, that just stuck out to me, because I just looked at it, I was like, hang on a minute, what happened to that? The museum started moving slowly, so he waited for the right time, got a running start, and whoop! Hey, farming simulator guy, how's it going? And just as the corridor was passing the ladder, he leapt onto it. I don't believe it. That addle-pated detective did all that. Was it really him? I mean, all this time I thought... Sorry, we didn't catch your name. My name? I'm Bobby Fulbright. The heroic detective who defends our good citizens from evil. The champion of justice who comes running whenever you're in need. Do I play Call of Duty? Not really. Well, I've played them for the campaign. That's it, I don't really do multiplayer. Also, I'm glad to hear that. I'm also pretty good, thanks for asking. And my catchphrase, it's in justice we trust. then his concern for Simon was also all just one big act. I swore to reform Prosecutor Blackwell and make him a valued member of society again. So I can't just sit by and watch him give in to his emotions and tear the defendant apart. That monster killed Clay? He had me completely fooled. Come to think of it, he's the one who brought that blood-stained lighter to court too. The scumbag even made me turn on Athena. Damn it, how the hell did I fall for all that? For him to have wormed his way into the police department as well. Your Honor, the defense demands to question Detective Bobby Fulbright. Oh, nice. Yes, I agree that we need to hear from him right away. The court will take a short recess, and then Detective Fulbright will take the stand. Ooh. Well, this is definitely getting interesting. Jesus. Fulbright. I still have a little bit of doubt. How could he be the Phantom? He's such a cheery chap. Defendant lobby. Is it number 5 still? Yep. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. If it wasn't for everything you did, if you mean difficulty, then no. I'm not a masochist. Don't thank me yet. I just play on the normal difficulty. For a while, I used to only play on easy, because then I got through the game quicker. But, well, not recently, but the past couple months, or past half year or so, I just started to play on normal. The games aren't that challenging. We still have an uphill battle to fight. You got it, boss. Apollo! Well, this is awkward. What is it you're trying to play that on? Because I'm pretty sure the second disc install stuff was only for, like, last-gen consoles. At least I think so. I don't know. Athena, can you do me a favor? Punch me! Hit me! Oh, huh? What is it? Could you... punch me, please? Well, I got it right. What? Why would I do that? Or why should I do that? Because I should have believed in you. I let the seed of doubt inside me get the best of me. I'm really sorry that I didn't trust... Ouch! Okay, that makes sense. Don't be such a dope. I was really touched by what you did. Huh? No, what are you talking about? I want to believe in Athena. I really do. But what is faith without doubt? That's why I need to question her guilt. So that once the truth finally comes out, I can really fully trust her. You took the time and effort to genuinely think about who I am and what I'm made of. After all that, how could I punch a true friend like you, Apollo? You didn't have any trouble slapping him a second ago. Yeah, slapping a punch, a bit different. Thanks, Athena, and thanks for waking me up to reality again. Guess I know now who to call if I ever get sleepy and caught. That's fair enough. I still have all my consoles hooked up, regardless of how old they are. All this one I have hooked up is PS2, and then PSP. It looks like you have some promising young people working under you. Edgeworth? Of course. Edgeworth. Yeah, I think they're pretty great myself. And they're not afraid to keep me in line. Anyway, I have some very good news. Aura Blackwell has surrendered and the hostages have been set free. Trucy and all the others. Oh, thank goodness. Miss Blackwell said she had something she really needed to do. So I granted her special permission to do what she must. I wonder what it is. Oh! I didn't realise she was here. Miss Blackwell. I didn't come to apologise, if that's what you're thinking. My actions are what allowed the truth of what happened 7 years ago to come to light. But I did come because I had something to say to all of you. Miss Aura? You better not be here to complain about something. Miss Blackwell, I want to apologise to you. The fact that you couldn't trust the court system is our fault. Yes, it's true the courts are filled with incompetent idiots. Still, I suppose I could let you handle the rest of this case for me. Oh, Miss Aura, does this mean you're starting to trust the system again? No, of course not. Be quiet, hunk of junk. It's just, I wouldn't mind if you were the ones who took Metis' killer down. Leave it to us. We'll get him. So I guess that means she's starting to trust us, at least. Aura. Simon. I'm so glad both you and the princess were cleared of all suspicion. It's all thanks to me and my robots. You'd better be grateful. I never imagined you would go that far. Though you always were extreme. But I don't recall ever requesting your help. As closed as ever, I see. Well, now that you've been released, I guess it's my turn to go live in the slammer. I just hope you're not the prosecutor for my trial. You'd probably give me the death penalty. You know me all too well. I guess love can take on a variety of expressions, including stunted in their case. But I truly was about to be executed tomorrow. Though because of you, it looks like I won't be crossing the sticks just yet. You have my heartfelt thanks, Aura. I'm sorry I caused you so much anguish. Simon. Aw. Wow, she's actually showing emotion. I'm so glad, Simon. So very glad to hear you say that. Aura. Alright, that's enough of that. Bailiff, take me to the detention center. What Miss Blackwell did was inexcusable. But it's clear she did it out of love for her brother. I still can't wrap my mind around Detective Fulbright being the Phantom. Yeah, me too. Me too. I can't believe he killed Clay. Right, and murdered my mentor, which brought great distress upon little Athena. Chief Prosecutor? Yes? I would ask a favour. Would you allow me to stand at the prosecutor's bench for this trial? I wish to claim the Phantom's head by my own hand. That was my plan all along. After all, it's highly unconventional for a man of my position to stand in court. So now he's using his position. Sir, the formal paperwork has yet to be filed, but you are hereby conditionally released. Please take the prosecutor's bench in your official capacity, and uncover the truth by your own hand. I'm much obliged. The day to part with these has come at last. Chief Prosecutor, could you? I'm just gonna open my drink. I was gonna say, I know that sounds like a very random thing to just say, but it's because I mute whenever I open it, because it's loud. How long have I waited? Maybe it's a sense of freedom, but even the air seems fresher, the light brighter. What? And I will relish flashing that blackguard Fulbright to shreds without mercy. Do I want to know all the consoles you have? I mean, go for it. I don't have to be able to read his heart to see how happy he is. I'm so glad, but I won't cry just yet. After all, we still got a trial to finish. It's okay to cry, Athena, I promise. Prosecutor Blackwell, Mr. Wright. Please avenge Clay's death for me. What are you talking about, Apollo? You're coming to the defense's bench with me. I am? Well, I can't expect Athena to assist me, now can I? She's the defendant. That leaves you, Apollo. But... are you sure you want me? I took a leave of absence and everything. Well, our office is pretty short-handed. And you're all I've got. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Apollo. Athena, I can say it with all my heart now. I believe in you, in your complete innocence. And now we're going to prove it to the world. Nice. That's a fair few consoles you own. Thank you, Apollo. I know you can do it. I own too many consoles.
Won't be needing that eye patch anymore, right? Right. Because I'm fine now.
Although I only have like 5. Wait. Oh no, I have 6 hooked up. Hey! I'm playing this game on Android. Now this is the Apollo I know. Welcome back, Apollo. It's almost time for the trial to restart, though it looks like you have things well in hand. Yep. I should head back to the prosecutor's office. Although I will say, I'm playing this on Android, but I'm playing it on an emulator. It's BlueStacks, it's an Android emulator. But why? I want to look into a few things. Namely, the first people on the scene, 7 years ago. The facial data registered by the robot. And Detective Fulbright's background. Sounds great, Edgeworth. Thanks. I expect to be repaid with a victory, right? Now if you'll excuse me. Fring McBoot is essentially custom firmware for PS2. In a sense. When you load up the console, it boots into Fring McBoot, which allows you access to a bunch of different things. Okay, you two all set to go? You bet I am. Let's do this. This is it, the final battle. The murder of Apollo's friend. The courtroom bombing incident. God, getting Fring McBoot installed was a process. It's quite funny though. All you have to do is play, well, you only have to own a copy. On the case that ushered in the Dark Age of the Law 7 years ago. You only have to own a copy of 007, Agent Under Fire. No, really. You need to have... It depends how much technical know-how you have. But there's guides on the internet about it. If you can follow guides, then you'd be able to do it. Destiny has called us to bring the one responsible for it all to justice today. Courtroom number 4. Let us now reconvene. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has never been more ready. You know, this is the first time we've been at the defense bench together since I debuted. Now that you mention it. Although back then, I thought you were more loud than you were reliable. You've really come a long way since then, Apollo. You've grown a lot. Well, there have been some hiccups, but I guess I've done pretty well. I've still got that ego of his, though. Prosecutor Blackwell, with the 7-year mistake now resolved, you can finally take your rightful place. Oh, it's weird not hearing the clang of the handcuffs. Yes, I guess we can keep the chit-chat for later. Bailiff, please bring in the witness immediately. Even with those handcuffs off, Prosecutor Blackwell seems to be pretty much the same. 7 years of grumpiness doesn't go away easily, I guess. And here he is. Bobby Fulbright here. I heard I was needed on the stand, so here I am. Detective Fulbright. Do you know why you have been called to give testimony? Yep, because there is only one reason why I'd be called. And that is because it's time for justice. In justice we trust.
Objection!
You can't fool us with that act anymore. Your justice is nothing but lies. What? Are you questioning the integrity of my sense of justice? I mean, sure, sometimes I make mistakes, but hey. He's acting exactly the same as always. Tell me about it. He must be feeling awfully confident. Fulbright, if you wish to dispel our suspicions, then let's get to your testimony. Alright, fine. You want me to prove my righteousness? I can certainly do that. Okay. This is weird. I don't think he's the Phantom. He just doesn't seem it. The embodiment of justice. I'm the very embodiment of justice itself. I won't have you make me into a villain with your far-fetched arguments. And this bit about the escape route is only a theory. You don't have any proof. What we do have is proof that Athena Sykes is a culprit. This lighter with her prints on it. So you're saying the suspicions against you are completely false? And that the defendant is the real culprit? That's right. Mr. Lawyer's escape route is totally circumstantial. He doesn't have any proof that I made a leap onto a ladder. Made a big leap onto a ladder. We don't have proof, you are correct about that. However, you don't have any proof for your claim either. I guess you're right. But you can't define justice with evidence. Who can define it anyway? Justice... just is.
Objection!
Don't make me break out a dictionary on you. Please don't throw the book at me. Tell me the Phantom didn't just make me set up a stupid pun for him. Let's just try not to lose focus, alright? But my justice is crystal clear. What's not clear are your eyes. Wake up and smell the justice.
Silence!
Ooh. I do miss the handcuff clatter. Or clinking. But never mind. He's a free man now. Enough of your rubbish, Fulbright. If you have even an ounce of justice, then you will answer the court's questions and prove it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Prosecutor Blackwell looks torn. Well, Fulbright was his partner after all. Prosecutor Blackwell is right. The truth will be revealed in the cross-examination. The suspicions against Detective Fulbright are at this point only suspicions. And as is my duty, I will judge the claims against the detective as impartially as I can. Does anyone have any objections? That's fine, Your Honor. Now ask away and don't hold back. Well, there don't appear to be any objections. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Let's do it. So the embodiment of justice. The very embodiment of justice itself. Press. So the embodiment of justice, those are just empty words. But they say if you keep saying something, it can eventually become the truth. Isn't that how people make their dreams come true too? By wishing over and over? Alright. Let's just move on. I won't have you make me into a villain with your far-fetched arguments. My arguments are hardly far-fetched. There's careful reasoning behind my theory. Yes, well apparently there's reasoning behind even a tofu burger. Haha! But what we have against Miss Sykes though is not just reasoning, but solid evidence. And it's called the lighter, with Miss Sykes' fingerprints on it in the victim's blood. Yes, that's true, but wait, Detective Fulbright was the one who brought that evidence to the trial. If you harbour any suspicions, I suggest you ask Fulbright, right, Dono? Especially about that lighter. He's right. But what exactly should I ask about? Position of the prints, number. Wait, do I have any evidence that would help? I don't know if I do. I don't remember anything mentioning prints. Oh! Wait, what is it we're trying to figure out? Clay Terran's murder, innit? So that's what we're looking at. Oh yeah, from Aura's... It was the picture with Aura... It showed the guy in the room, or the person in the room. And yeah, they held the lighter in the left hand. With the knife in the right. Number of prints. Sure. I mean, the positions of the prints is gonna be at the bottom. So how many prints were found exactly? 3. The thumb, the index finger, and the middle finger of a right hand. Aha! There it is! Your Honor, that is an important statement. Could we please have it added to my testimony? You got it. He beat me to it. Be it investigating or testifying, speed is the key. Right, so there's where I need to present. 3 prints were on the lighter, the thumb, the index finger... thumb, index, and middle fingers of a right hand. Oh, shit. The statement was added... I'm not sure if it's relevant or not. I meant to press present, but I clicked away from the button. At least he seems willing to answer our questions. Let's keep asking him about different things and see if we can uncover an inconsistency. Hey, Kaku. If that's how you say your name. How's it going? Detective Fulbright is a tougher adversary than I thought. Yeah, I didn't want to do that, though. Ah, really? Skip. It's the final statement, I think. You don't have any proof? Yeah, it is the final statement. Boop. 3 prints are on the lighter, the thumb, index, and middle fingers of a right hand. Whoop. Right, so now I can actually use Aura's statement to help me out.
Objection!
You're wrong. You say the prints were from a right hand, is that correct? That's right, very clear prints. But that just doesn't add up. Huh? What doesn't add up? According to Miss Blackwell, who saw the culprit herself... There it is. This person held the lighter in their left hand. Oh? So here is the dilemma before us. Why are the prints on the lighter from a right hand instead of a left? You're right. It doesn't make sense, does it? Your Honor, this lighter can hardly be called incriminating evidence. The witness's claims don't even hold water. Detective Fulbright, I hope you have a good explanation for this. I was going to say reason. I just can't understand it. They're definitely right-hand prints. Where in the UK am I from? Northeast. Not going to say the specific part, for obvious reasons, but yeah, the Northeast. But then, why are they inconsistent with Miss Blackwell's statement? I've got it. What have you got, Detective? The mirror. The witness must have seen a reflection of the culprit in the mirror. Go on. Miss Blackwell was looking in through the window of boarding lounge 1, wasn't she? I believe so. Is it a mirrored image? If you mean the little window in the back and to the right of the room. Oh, right, yeah, there. That's right, and across the room on the opposite wall... is a large mirror. I do remember seeing it. So are you saying... she saw the reflection of them? Yes, the culprit Miss Blackwell saw must have been a reflection of that person in the mirror. Oh. I see. In that case, right and left would appear reversed, wouldn't they? That's how a mirror works. Now do you see? That's the logic of pure justice.
Objection!
Well, your argument is only conjecture. You don't have any proof that what Miss Blackwell saw was a reflection.
Silence!
Right, Dono, you'd sooner nick yourself than him. Oh, you'd sooner nick yourself than him like that. Put some more muscle into it. Huh? That's right. Besides, the lighter couldn't have been in the left hand. And why not? Miss Blackwell said she saw an Earth emblem on the lighter, didn't she? That emblem is only on one side of the lighter. You're right. There's no emblem on the other side. Exactly. As blank and smooth as a judge's fine scalp. If the culprit had held the lighter in their left hand, they would have covered the emblem. Uh-oh. What's more, this is the kind of lighter you flick open with your thumb before lighting. I mean, this game is just Ace Attorney. It's always been like this. Outrageous. So if the culprit had held it in their left hand, with the emblem out and emblem out and visible, they wouldn't have been able to open it, let alone light it. But if they had held it in their right hand, they could easily open it and light it. This all means the culprit was definitely holding the lighter in their right hand. Come back, my beautiful contradiction. It appears you've planted a flower that bears no fruit. See how it withers before my flower of justice? He's tough. He's managed to discredit almost everything I've proven up to this point. In justice we trust. Now do you see? I'm not this phantom you've been talking about. I mean, are you sure there really is a spy? I bet they're just a figment of your imagination. Oh, it's so sad, so very sad. But I'm afraid Miss Sykes is the culprit. Jesus. Oh. Wait. Detective Fulbright, I believe you said that the emblem is only on one side of the lighter. Are you sure about that? Of course I'm sure. Why don't you take a look for yourself and see? Do you see an Earth emblem on both sides of the lighter? Aha! You get to perceive something. I knew it. You're lying, detective. But pardon me? You mean... Yes, my bracelet reacted to his statement about the emblem. He's definitely hiding something big. And I think if we use my talent, we might be able to figure it out. Do I like pizza? Yeah. It's one of my favourite foods. Are you to use that cheat of yours again? Or Justice Dono? It's not cheating, Prosecutor Blackwell. Very well. Whether I like it or not, I suppose we should use whatever works right now. Go on then. We have Prosecutor Blackwell's reluctant blessing, apparently. Okay, Apollo, you're up. Here goes then. Detective Fulbright, could you repeat that last statement one more time? What in the world are you up to? Alright, fine. I'll say it as many times as you like. Listen carefully. The Earth emblem is only on the side that you can see when held in the right hand. Oh god, I have to perceive something in this stance. So I don't really see anything. I'm just looking around, I don't see much. I have seen nothing. Listen again. Ah! Wow, that's so small. Jesus, it must only be on the first part then. And I was too busy looking at the other hand. Gotcha! Gotcha! All my favourite foods. Pizza, pasta, curry. Basically it. The holy trifecta. Detective Fulbright, you might not be aware of it yourself, but... Oh, actually. I'd probably say I have 4. Curry, chili, pizza, pasta. There's no order to them, they're all fantastic. Whenever you say the phrase, the Earth emblem, your left thumb moves. In fact, it appears as though you're running it along the edge of your holster. Mr. Lawyer, I don't have the foggiest notion what you're talking about. Be that as it may, I know it has something to do with the lighter. Let me examine it. But why? You're not making any sense. You can't just...
Silence!
Be still and do as you're told, Fulbright. If you have nothing to hide, you shouldn't mind them having a look-see, should you? What? Not you too, Prosecutor Blackwell. I'm not sure what this is all about, but if Prosecutor Blackwell insists, then I'll allow it. It must be something important. I will allow the defense to examine the lighter. He definitely seems reluctant. Good. Now maybe we'll learn something new. I hope so. Now let's check every inch of this thing. I can actually spin it. Whoa! Oh yeah. Prince. The Earth Emblem. Examine the emblem. So this is the Earth Emblem Detective Fulbright was talking about. See anything noteworthy? Huh? Hey, look at this. The emblem's actually some kind of button. What? A fucking handgun? What? Wow. It transformed. Into something. Is that the 10 cal gun? A handle? A trigger? Is this what I think it is? There's no question, it seems. What you have there is a gun. You don't say, genius. A what? Is that the 10 caliber gun? I don't think we ever found it, did we? A gun. So that's it. Your Honor, please recall this morning's trial when Director Cosmos was on the stand. The bullet that hit the oxygen tank was extremely small. Maybe a 10 caliber. This little compact gun probably takes bullets of that caliber. I was right. It is the 10 caliber gun. Looks like this is the gun that was fired at the scene. A fucking lighter. I'm flabbergasted. The lighter was a gun? So when Detective Fulbright would touch his holster... That's right, whenever he mentioned the Earth Emblem, he must have subconsciously thought about the secret behind the lighter. In other words, he knew it was a gun from the very beginning. A lighter that transforms into a gun seems like a spy gadget to me. Oh! It's not the kind of thing any ordinary person can get their hands on. In fact, I'd say it's strictly in the domain of elite spies. Detective Fulbright, you will explain yourself. There's nothing for me to explain. I didn't know the lighter could transform. I mean, it was found in the Space Museum, and then I brought it straight in. I didn't even have time to check it out. Whenever you mentioned the Earth Emblem, you touched your holster. You subconsciously did that because you knew it was a gun. Accuse me all you want, but where is your proof? Do you have any evidence that I knew the lighter was a gun? Not exactly. And whose prints are on it? Miss Sykes' prints. It proves that she's the culprit who fired the gun at the scene. Ugh. It would appear that the detective is right. Are you guys really trying to prove your client innocent, or what? Although it pains me to do this, now that we are where we are, I have to make the following assertions. Come from the prosecution side. I'm probably not going to be playing anything else today. Far too busy. I'm only recording this because I want to finish the game. Person who fired the gun at Director Cosmos in the lounge after the incident. And the person Miss Blackwell saw holding the lighter. And the person who murdered Mr. Terran. And the person who bombed the Space Center. I mean, I might, if I have time. But for the most part, I'll be just wrapping presents for a good few hours. Are all the defendant Athena Sykes? The prints on the lighter are decisive proof. No! Now do you see? A man on the side of justice couldn't possibly be the culprit. And I think this about sums up Miss Sykes' part in the whole affair. The evidence certainly does seem to point to the defendant's guilt. Do you have anything to say, Prosecutor Blackwell? Evidence is everything in court. Therefore, Fulbright's claims stand firm. But, calm down, Apollo. This he's just saying that because he has to as the prosecutor. Mr. Lawyer, our job is to pursue criminals in the name of justice. You shouldn't cast suspicion on people based on something as dubious as a habit. In fact, you have a bad habit of showing up in court with an awful case of bedhead.
Objection!
Says the man who wears sunglasses at night. If it's proof you want, it's proof you'll get. I'll prove that this lighter is not Miss Sykes's, but yours. Sounds like you've hit on something, Apollo. It's just, if the prints on the lighter are the basis for accusing Athena, I think we should reconsider the credibility of the evidence itself. You mean, you think this lighter might be forged evidence? That's right. It could all be part of Fulbright's bigger plot. I think I just called him Fulbright. Subconsciously. Fulbright, whatever. Did he do anything out of the ordinary while I was off on my own? Yes. He was acting strange the entire case. I can definitely think of a few things. It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this? A lighter? Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge. He had the fingerprint data on him, and he said he didn't have time to check it. Ah yes, I just happen to have compiled the print data of everyone related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. Oh. If we assume he's been laying a big trap for us all along, there's got to be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with the lighter as a piece of evidence? The owner of the prints, how the prints were left on it, where the prints are on it. The owner of the prints. Are they really Athena's fingerprints? They definitely matched her print data. But what about the data itself? Detective Fulbright, you were the one who provided us with the lighter and print data. Isn't that correct? Yes. What about it? You say Miss Sykes' prints matched the print data. But I have to wonder, was the data you used official? Mr. Wright, are you suggesting that the evidence might have been fabricated? I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's re-examine the prints. Using the official, sanctioned print data of the people involved in this case. What? You dare insult the epitome of justice and integrity? There's no need for such antics.
Silence!
Your Honour, I lend my voice to the defence's request. You must allow the test to be rerun. Very well then. Bailiff? Okay. It appears that the official data is here. And the results? Bloody hiccups. It's just as the defense claims. This proves that the prints on the lighter do not belong to the defendant. Oh, shit. Yes! Oh, we're so happy. A little victory. The prints actually belong to the victim, Mr. Clay Terran. So a lighter that can transform into a handgun, it's Clay Terran's fingerprints and blood on it. They were Clay's fingerprints on the lighter. I see. Come to think of it, wasn't it you, Fulbright, who collected the victim's prints? I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all. When you took the deceased's fingerprints, you could have easily planted his prints on the lighter with his blood. After which, you wiped the blood off of his hand. By your own admission, you were also the one who compiled the phony print data. All to put the blame on Miss Sykes. This ploy must have been to distract us from the Phantom who was behind everything. You were out to create the impression that the Phantom wasn't the true culprit. So does this mean Detective Fulbright really is the Phantom? Remember the killer's escape route? No ordinary person would have been fearless enough to attempt it. Nobody but the Phantom, the man with no emotions, could have done it. Detective Fulbright, you were the only one who could have used that escape route. Fulbright, are you really the Phantom? Answer me, also help me, I will slash you to tiny slivers where you stand. Alright, I'll talk. I confess. I'm not the Phantom.
Silence.
It's not the confession we were after. It's all over, now be a man and admit it already. But I'm not a spy. I'm an undercover investigator. I've actually been after the Phantom myself. An under-the-cover investigator? That sounds less than wholesome to me. A person who hides his identity and secretly investigates in order to uncover information. And that's what you really are, Fulbright. That's right. I was working to track down the Phantom. But sadly, even though I was supposed to catch the spy ended up catching me. He took my family hostage and forced me to cooperate with him. What?
Objection!
You're telling us this now? But if what you say is true, then who was the mysterious person Miss Blackwell and Mr. Starbuck saw? It was the Phantom, I tell you. All I did was help him by having that emergency ladder lowered for him. I don't believe you. Then how do you explain the fabricated lighter? That was also one of the Phantom's demands. Being the detective in charge of the case, it was easy for me to fabricate evidence. Pinning the crime on Athena Sykes was just another one of the Phantom's orders. And you expect me to buy that? Fulbright, what was the Phantom's ultimate objective? I was told it was to sabotage the rocket launch. Someone who didn't want the launch to happen must have given him the order. Actually, I have to apologize to you too. The Phantom told me to get close to you. He ordered me to get back that psych profile you have on him. So, he sent a buzzard of his own to tail me this past year, did he? I haven't been a champion of justice. I've just been a pawn of evil. A pawn of the Phantom who stole the moon rock and killed Dr. Sykes 7 years ago. Enough, Fulbright. Just tell us the Phantom's true identity. I don't know. He was very careful to hide it. He has top-secret information for all kinds of corporations and countries. So there's a number of organizations that want him dead. If people believed I was the Phantom, I could be killed on the spot. Why, I bet even now. There are assassins lurking nearby. This case is about the Phantom after all. With the ceiling blown off, I suppose you are vulnerable to a sniper's shot in this courtroom. Just 2 seconds ago, Fulbright was treating Athena like a criminal. Does he really think he's going to lie his way out of it now? But on the surface, everything does seem to make sense. This could be bad, Mr. Wright, if we can't find a flaw in his logic. He's right, after we've come all this way, we can't let Fulbright wriggle free now. There, I finally told the truth. Now I hope you see how foolish it was to think I was the Phantom. Oh, that's a serious expression. You're an intelligent man, Prosecutor Blackwell. You believe me, right? I believe you. I don't think you're the Phantom. What? How can you say that? Prosecutor Blackwell, it's obvious he's the Phantom.
Silence.
Evidence is everything, right, Dono? And you must admit, there's no clear evidence that Fulbright is the Phantom. Yes, as I recall, the only solid proof we've seen up to this point is the fact that Detective Fulbright fabricated evidence. But... Great. I've known Fulbright here for a year now. And all this time, he's been quite intent on rehabilitating me. I don't believe his efforts were a lie. Prosecutor Blackwell. This fool truly thought he could reform a death row inmate like me. He went so out of his way in his efforts for me. He actually became quite a nuisance, really. Prosecutor Blackwell, you believe me? Please tell me Prosecutor Blackwell hasn't really been taken in by this big phony. However, even if it was against your will, you still act as the Phantom's accomplice. You will have to pay the price for that. Boom, 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 boom. Throw yourself at my mercy, and don't you ever betray me again. Have you got that? Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you. Such a bond of trust is a rare and beautiful thing. In any case, it looks like everything has been resolved. I can now hand down a not guilty verdict with confidence. Very good. I'm glad to hear it. It's all over. Everything's been cleared up. And Miss Sykes will go free as well. Mr. Wright, we can't let the trial end here. If we do, the Phantom, the man who killed Clay, will get away. I know, but... what do I do? I don't have any proof that Detective Fulbright is the Phantom. Is this it? Is he going to get away just like that? Now, if you'll excuse me, my next investigation awaits. And with that... I'm off. Oh. Who was that? Athena! The defense... no, wait. Not the defense. The defendant feels it's not time for a verdict yet and would like to see this trial continue. What? But I was just about to declare you innocent of all charges. It just doesn't feel right to be standing here. Hey, Apollo. Think you could scooch over? Wait. Hey, this is cool. Athena, what are you doing? Hope we don't get held in contempt of court. I have some questions for you, Detective Fulbright. Are you relieved that you are no longer under suspicion of being the Phantom? Are you grateful to Prosecutor Blackwell for what he's done for you? Of course I am, and I'm truly grateful from the bottom of my heart. Athena, where are you going with these questions? I think I know. If he doesn't display any emotion, then he's the Phantom. I have yet to hear a single emotion behind any of Detective Fulbright's words, boss. There we go. The suspicion against him has been cleared up, but he's not feeling happy at all. What? Does that mean... there's only one person? We may not have any evidence, but the heart doesn't lie. That's it. With your special ability, we just might be able to stop him. Your Honor, the detective has been deeply traumatized by our accusations. Yes, well, even before all this, I thought he was a rather odd fellow. If he doesn't get counselling right away, who knows what may happen to him? What the fuck? Prosecutor Blackwell, can you believe the nonsense the defense is spouting? Is he going to be on our side? Fulbright. I think you'd better have that counselling. Not you, too. You've been making batty remarks ever since you were accused of being the Phantom. Such as, you're an undercover investigator, and your family has been taken hostage. I fear you might have finally lost it. But I thought you believed me.
Silence.
Was it just a ploy? Oh, how you amuse me so. What's going on here? That was an excellent bit of psychological manipulation just now, Simon. Oh! I knew you would catch on, Athena. Huh? Mind filling me in here? Guess we left you in the dust, huh, Mr. Wright? Simon was only pretending to believe Detective Fulbright. Because he knew I'd notice if there was a lack of emotions, like joy or relief, in his response. So he gave me the chance to take a listen. And listen I did to the voice of Detective Fulbright's heart. What? You two are working together just now? Oh, that's cool. Come now, Athena. Show us what's inside Fulbright's heart. You got it. Time to check the instant replay. Widget, mon ami, let's do this. Haha! I was not expecting them to be working together. There it is. No emotion. So thank you for believing in me, Prosecutor Blackwell. I'm an undercover investigator, but the Phantom was coercing me. He stole the moon rock and killed Dr. Sykes 7 years ago. I'm a bad person for cooperating with such a man. But he took my family hostage. What else could I do? No emotion. Even with all his over-the-top expressions and gestures, he's registering no emotion at all. It's just like I thought. And right in line with the Phantom's psych profile. Detective Fulbright, this lack of emotion proves you're the Phantom. What the fuck? Whoa! Hey, what's going on? Wait, hold it. What do you think you're doing, Detective? Me? I'm not doing anything. He's trying to hack into the Mood Matrix program. I can't do anything with it like this. So he has a fancy gadget. Fancy device you have there, but I'll tolerate no cheating, thank you. Sorry about that. As an undercover agent, I tend to use my secret arsenal without even thinking. More like, as a spy. Thanks, Prosecutor Blackwell. There. Now that you can't hack me anymore, I dare you to try to hide your lack of emotions from us. Lack of emotion? What are you talking about? Of course I have feelings. As a matter of fact, you've wounded me very deeply with that accusation. What's going on? All of a sudden I'm getting an overwhelming happy reading. Huh? But he's literally crying as a river over there. Oops, my mistake. How about this? So now he's angry. Now he's angry all of a sudden? What's he trying to pull? Like as not, it would appear our friend is not completely without emotion. It's just as it says in Dr. Sykes' profile of the Phantom. The subject has a unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. Oh, I get it, so he has some emotions, right? Precisely. Which leads me to wonder why you can't sense any emotion from him at all. I believe it's most likely because he is controlling his emotions. Very good, Prosecutor Blackwell. You are correct. It's the result of my daily training. A very important skill for us undercover investigators, you know? More like for us spies. Seriously. But I wonder why he suddenly showed several strong emotions. Wait a minute. I think I know. I sense there's a feeling you're trying to hide with your exaggerated emotions, Detective. A feeling I'm trying to hide? That's a good one. You're the ones who have been saying I'm the Phantom because I don't have any emotions. I was just trying to show you the range of deep emotions I truly possess. Then you have no objections to me analysing you, right? No, analyse away. But I will state it again, I am not the Phantom. And be forewarned that your analysis will have no effect. Because you're about to see what an undercover agent can really do. Oh Jesus. Me, the Phantom? No way. Oh god, his emotions are all over the place. I'm so sad. See, I told you I have emotions. How dare you accuse me of being someone who would kill over a moon rock? Oh! His sadness isn't changing. I do regret cooperating with the Phantom, of course. But I'm so glad this whole misunderstanding is cleared up now. Yeah, the sadness does not change. Not one bit. I found it. I found the one emotion you're truly feeling. What? Hidden in the middle of that chaotic storm, I saw one emotion that never disappeared. When you talked about the moon rock. You felt a fear that wouldn't fade. Fear? Or fear, huh? A fear that a man with hardly any emotions feels, huh? And it was a response to that moon rock. Detective Fulbright, I presume you feel fear concerning the moon rock because you lost it, you failed to steal it. What happened when he killed Metis Sykes? Was he holding the moon rock? Well, he got attacked toward the right-hand side of the room. I'd say his identity would be revealed. Of course. That's it. Enough, Fulbright. Just tell us the Phantom's true identity. I don't know. He was very careful to hide it. He has top-secret information for all kinds of corporations and countries. So there's a number of organizations that want him dead. If people believed I was the Phantom, I could be killed on the spot. Why, I bet even now. There are assassins lurking nearby. This case is about the Phantom, after all. Okay. Detective Fulbright, I think I know why you would feel afraid. You are afraid that the moon rock will somehow reveal your identity. Pardon me. If his identity... Oh god, hiccups. If his identity were revealed, he would be killed immediately. That's certainly enough to make even the Phantom feel afraid. Me? Afraid? I don't know what you're talking about. So, there really is something about the moon rock that would reveal his identity. Apparently so. Wait a minute. Maybe the Phantom didn't so much steal the moon rock, but more like he had to take it with him. Because there was something on it that would reveal his true identity. Like blood. Now what? He just left. Where do you think you're going? Me? I'm not going anywhere. Is it just me, or was he going to use that weird watch thing to try to get away? How many more of those toys does he have? And where can I get myself some? Detective Fulbright, you will answer honestly to this court right now. Why do you feel fear in connection with the moon rock? In justice we trust, not emotions, Mr. Lawyer. Evidence is everything. I'm the Phantom because I'm afraid? Don't make me laugh. Dear. What was that just now? But all human beings have hearts and experience emotions. Sometimes analysing a case from the psychological perspective is the best way to find the truth. It's all just a waste of time. All your efforts at analysis serve no purpose. And now, in this dark age of the law, nobody would believe your claim that it's effective. In an era where evidence is fabricated, do you truly expect feelings to be accepted as proof? Or where exactly is your proof that I fear the moon rock anyway? Well, I admit I don't have any conventional proof, but I still say that examining a person's heart has its merits. Oh really? Then why don't you listen carefully with those special ears of yours? Listen to the voices of the hearts of the people in the gallery. All I hear is distrust. As you can see, the people are on my side. Because all they see is a strange little girl using a weird little machine. But it's not like I use analytical psychology to falsely accuse people. Uh-oh, it's got Athena doubting herself. Miss Sykes' analytical psychology has breathed new life into the courtroom. It has freed the hearts of many witnesses, and has been key in getting to the truth. What nonsense. Your Honor, the defense's claim is a false one. I don't feel any kind of fear when it comes to the moon rock. I see. Very well, I will give the opinion of this court. In a trial, I don't feel that a person's emotions are quite as compelling as actual evidence is. But, Your Honor... There, you see. Nobody believes you and your trumped-up charges. However, I do believe Miss Sykes' analysis can contribute to making the truth clear. I have seen her do this firsthand several times already. Surely you jest. So does this mean... you will accept my findings in this trial, Your Honor? Yes, I believe your claim, Miss Sykes. I think there is merit in examining why the witness feels fear in regard to the moon rock. That is the court's opinion on this matter. And that's a win for me. No, a win for analytical psychology. Now, Mr. Phantom, you will tell this court the reason for your fear. Analytical psychology. My fears? Fine. I'll show you precisely why these abstract things can't be considered evidence. That bloody laugh. Wait, so it's a testimony? Alright, yeah. Cool. Let's do it. My fear of the moon rock. I felt fear when I thought about the moon rock because it reminded me of the Phantom. Yes, I'm very afraid of him because he took my family hostage. What reason would the Phantom have to be afraid of the moon rock? None at all. So the very fact that I'm afraid of the moon rock means I'm not him. In fact, I'm on the side of... justice! Oh, God. Whew. And there you have it. Now do you see why I'm afraid of the moon rock? Sure. You sound convincing enough. But so does any 2-bit con artist. It's all meaningless in the absence of evidence. Oh! Nice counter. The Phantom is like the mist. No flesh, no bones. My sword alone cannot cut it. Right or no? With your deductive reasoning, and the body of evidence before us, let us send this miserable Phantom fellow to the other world together. Hey, teaming up! You and I, Prosecutor Blackwell. We have a duty to bring the Phantom down, and restore the people's faith in the courts. Indeed, by covering for Athena, I allowed the Phantom to escape. And as a prosecutor, I gave birth to the people's mistrust with my murder conviction. I bear part of the responsibility as well. For being suspected of forging evidence and losing my attorney's badge as a result. The two of us and the Phantom were there at the beginning of the Dark Age of the law. Then it is also our burden to cut away the foul spectre we created, is it not? Until all that remains is the righteousness of the court and the faith of the people. Trust? Understanding? Huh. Fragile ideals of the masses who are controlled by emotion. Humans can't truly trust each other, which is exactly why the illusion of trust is so enticing. Once two people overcome their misgivings, that's where real trust is to be found. You're free to believe what you want, but trust like that is stronger than you and your lies, always. Cross-examination. My fear of the moon rock. I felt fear when I thought about the moon rock because it reminded me of the Phantom. It only reminded you of the Phantom? Don't make me laugh. You are the Phantom. Evidence is everything in a court of law. Did you forget? I was forced to testify over a silly thing like feelings. But those tactics won't work here from here on out. You need real evidence. I hate to admit it, but he's right. It seems pressing is fruitless. It doesn't actually yield anything. Yes, I'm very afraid of him because he took my family hostage. Your family? Like who in your family specifically? Oh, I don't know. Like, maybe my lover, for example? For example, Maybe. We need a more concrete answer than that. Maybe my mother, my son, or my daughter. Maybe it was all of them. I'm so sad and worried. I miss them so much. He's obviously lying. Look how upset I am. Is it any wonder I followed the Phantom's orders? Jeez. What reason would the Phantom have to be afraid of the moon rock? None at all. Wrong. Utility knife.
Objection!
It's what Athena used. Detective Fulbright, I assume you know what this is. Of course. That's the knife the Phantom used to kill Clay Terran. That's right. And the exact same type of knife Miss Sykes used 7 years ago when she stabbed the Phantom's hand. Yes, that was discussed earlier, as I recall. Actually, if he's the Phantom, take off the glove. Surely he'd have a scar on his left hand. Wait, no, his right hand. It was his right hand. Actually, now that I think about it, whenever he gets angry and puts his fist up, he actually has like a vein pop up on that glove. I wonder if that's got any significance to the scar. Probably not. I'm probably just thinking too much into it. He dodged at first so he only got his clothes, but I tried again. And this time you got him, didn't you? I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went into the back of his hand. Why don't we just ask him to remove his glove? Miss Sykes then stated that she remembers the culprit bleeding. It's my theory that the culprit's blood got on the moon rock. And he was afraid that if the blood was analysed, his true identity would be revealed. That explains why the Phantom had to remove the moon rock from the crime scene. You mean if we ran the analysis now, we'd know who the Phantom is? Yes, I suppose so. But unfortunately, the moon rock in question is missing. That may be so, but I'm certain I can explain what happened to it in great detail. You can? Of course. Not. You don't actually expect us to believe that, do you? Because you don't fool me. What this court needs is a bully-free zone. The infamous sword of the beguiling bluff. Its edge is without compare. Come now, ready it with me, and show us just how finely it cuts. Your Honor, this is an outrage. Oh, I mean, this is an outrage. Yeah, on his right hand. That pops up every time he gets angry. I highly doubt it's got anything to do with the fact he was stabbed in it. That'd be interesting, though. Because it's done that since I think since the very beginning we saw him. Oh. Why can't we just ask him to remove the gloves? Go on, right or no. Let's start with something that's been bothering me for a while. Now, the culprit supposedly removed the moon rock from the lab. But in this video of him, it's nowhere to be seen. Oh, you're right. But here's something to consider. What if the Phantom hid the moon rock somewhere at the scene of the crime? Good thinking, boss. Security was super tight at the Space Center. I think it might have said that day. I didn't get to read it. Hang on. Oh, back then. All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. Does this mean that the moon rock is still somewhere in the Space Center? In the name of justice, I proclaim that's impossible. And why is that? The Space Center was searched from top to bottom. And especially the lab. But the moon rock was never found. How could I forget about that? A sad but true fact, we still haven't a grasp on how it was done. But the Phantom made the moon rock vanish into the ether. There's no way it just disappeared. Logic and evidence tells us otherwise. The Phantom didn't have the moon rock on him when he left the lab. And yet, a thorough police search didn't turn up anything. And it never turned up in the 7 years after that either. The Phantom made the rock disappear without physically removing it himself. But how? There must have been a way. Think, Phoenix, think. Oh! The Hope Capsule! How did the moon rock vanish from the robotics lab? The capsule, and then it was shot up into space. So can you, or can you not, show what happened to the moon rock, Mr. Wright? Yes, I can, Your Honor. What? Oops, sorry, I mean... What? I like how he has to redo his, like, emotions. That's great. In that case, let's have your answer, Mr. Wright. How did the Phantom make the moon rock disappear from the crime scene? Right there. Hope Capsule!
Take that!
It was launched into space for 7 years. That's the Hope Capsule, right? The one that went up with the Hat 1 rocket. He couldn't carry the rock out, but he couldn't leave it in the center to be found either. So there was only one safe place to stash it. The Hope Capsule that was there in the lab that day. Yes. And the team must have loaded it onto the Hope space probe eventually. But if that's what happened, then the moon rock would have been launched up into space along with the rocket. That's exactly what did happen. Preposterous. It would mean that for these past 7 years, the moon rock was... Exactly. The Phantom got rid of the moon rock in the most cosmic way he knew how. It was out there in the depths of space. Aboard the Hope space probe. What? Hell yeah! Order! Order in the court! I understand now. The Phantom's original scheme was to sabotage the Hat One anyway. The villain. He used his primary objective to conveniently kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's right. He planned for the moon rock to be turned into cosmic dust out in space, thereby destroying the one piece of evidence that would reveal his true identity. But Mr. Starbuck and the others foiled the Phantom's plot. The Hope space probe sailed off safely on its mission and returned 7 years later, with a capsule in tow. If we analyse the blood on the moon rock, it should make one thing crystal clear. That you were the Phantom all along, Detective Fulbright. So he killed Clay just so he could get the moon rock back. I believe so. His original assignment may have been just to sabotage the Hat too, but at the same time, he also had to retrieve the evidence of his crimes 7 years ago. That's why he went to the boarding lounge and attacked Clay as he made his escape out of the rocket with the capsule. But in the end, it was all he could do to just to escape himself, so he didn't get the capsule. Oh. Clay must have... fuck. I clicked by accident. Clay must have done everything he could to stop Fulbright. He probably hung onto that capsule for all it was worth. Or for all he was worth until his very last breath. This is so funny. You make me laugh, you really do. Boy, he's totally out of whack now. It's game over for you, Detective Fulbright. Why don't you just admit to it all now? There's nothing to admit. I'm Bobby Fulbright, undercover investigator, I tell you. I'm not the Phantom. The blood on the rock is just another one of his schemes, a trap. Now I'm not sure what to think. I suppose if the Phantom is a spy worth his salt, a trap is not out of the question. But in that case, you could say anything is a trap. That's what makes a trap a trap. I've been framed into taking the blame for the Phantom. Your Honor, I believe further investigation is in order.
Silence.
Further investigation? More like plotting your escape. But no more. I will bring you to justice myself, if I must. Here and now. I guess it's time to show you just what I'm really capable of. Die, Simon Blackwell. What? Hey, you guys aren't really... Now what's happening? Jesus! This case is all over the place. It's Edgeworth. Looks like I made it just in time. Edgeworth. I have good news for you, Mr. Wright. I've uncovered some very crucial facts. Did you find something out about the Phantom's true identity? You might say that. I started by looking into the first people on the scene 7 years ago. All three, an employee, 2 office workers, were registered in the robot's recognition systems. But none of them looked the least bit like Detective Fulbright. That's not good. But there's more. I've yet to share my most important finding. Mr. Wright, Prosecutor Blackwell, you'd best brace yourselves. Uh-oh. We're racing for impact. The man you see there before you, Bobby Fulbright, is already long dead. Wait... Huh? What's that supposed to mean? An unidentified body was found a year ago. Has now been proven to possess Bobby Fulbright's fingerprints. Then does this mean... Wait, his body was found a year ago. Oh, from a year ago. I don't remember what it said. So the Phantom has been literally through the entire game. Wow. Yeah, the Bobby Fulbright we know, we don't know the Bobby Fulbright. Yes, that man there is an imposter pretending to be Bobby Fulbright. An imposter? Then this man... Who in the world is he? Enough of your trickery. If you will not reveal yourself to us, then I shall do it for you. Oh god, ew! Oh god, that's weird. A black hole under the skin. His face. Fucking hiccups. Ah. What the? No! Aw, look what you did to my mask. Wow, so is he like capable of perfectly... not replicating, impersonating a person? If that's the case, then we never really got to know Bobby. We got to know what he was like as a person, but we never actually got to see his actual character. I liked Bobby Fulbright too. And he was dead, all along. Mask, what is the meaning of this, witness? Okay, you got me. I guess I have to show you who I really am now. Zooming in on that hole. Wait, what? Mr. Starbuck. Wait, but that's... Hey, Apollo. Yep, it's me, Solomon Starbuck. Mr. Starbuck, but that can't be right. You can't really be the Phantom, can you?
Silence.
Of course not. The real Starbuck was aboard the Hat 1, which was set to be destroyed. Wow, he's very good at impersonating someone. Yeah, this is just another mask. I mean, didn't I tell you? I'm an undercover investigator. I can change identities at will. I can be anyone I want. Ah. Not so fast. I have the Phantom psych profile right here. If we compile a psych profile on you and compare the results, it will prove that you're the Phantom. It's time for me to show you the real meaning of the phrase, the end justifies the means. Aristotle? Really? Was it Aristotle? Yeah, Aristotle means. That voice, those words. Why is he impersonating him? Oh god. I cannot accept such evidence here, Miss Sykes. Professor Means. Mask? I'll take what I want by any means necessary. Now, give me that evidence. God, it looks so weird on Bobby Fulbright's, like, character model. With Aristotle's face. Or head. Time to take out the trash. Permanently. How could you? Now do you see how powerful the end justify the means can be?
Silence.
How pathetic. You can't even speak without wearing another man's face. Ah, but that's the life of an undercover agent for you. My real face has no meaning or value to me, at all. Or perhaps it is really the case that you don't even know who you are anymore. What must you see when you look in a mirror, Mr. Phantom? Not an awful lot, I'd wager. Well, aren't you just the master of psychology, Blackwell? That's right. I don't know who I am. I am always living as someone else for my assignments. I don't remember what my face looks like. Or even what my personality was like. My face, memories, personality, beliefs, emotions, and soul. I left them all behind. I have no self. I am no one. I am nothing but an endless abyss. What's with this guy? Is he even still human? And now we resume with your lesson, Professor Wright. Oh, huh? I believe you made this argument earlier. If you were to analyze the blood on the moon rock, you could prove that I am the Phantom. I believe there was blood on the moon rock in that capsule. Now that we know you aren't even Bobby Fulbright. Your claims of the Phantom trap won't work anymore. Then why don't you bring this moon rock in? This decisive evidence from the Hope capsule? I think I will do just that. Get ready, because the Hope capsule is about to seal your... Oh, that looked awfully close to fuck. Fudge. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. It destroyed it. There's still pieces of the bomb though, isn't there? Oh, not the bomb. From what they gathered, they laid it all out. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was blown to smithereens. There's a chance. Maybe. Looks like you have finally caught on. Full marks for the defense for effort. But what a shame your hope was lost in that courtroom explosion. So that's the real reason this courtroom was blown up. It was all for the Phantom to destroy that one piece of evidence. Can't believe it. Have we really reached a dead end after coming all this way? Has the only evidence we have on this guy really been destroyed? How dare you continue to call me the Phantom? As I've said all along, I'm just a nameless undercover agent.
Objection!
And the defense will continue to assert that you are the Phantom. Furthermore, we have proof. Or at least, a prayer. I'm afraid that won't do, Mr. Wright. At least put some weight behind your swing, right, Dono? I know, I'm trying. There's only one thing that can unmask this menace, the moon rock. But that was blown to bits in the courtroom bombing. And yet, is it really gone without a trace? What if some tiny part, some little fragment still exists? Yes. And you can see the stolen moon rock there too. That strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture. Okay, they're pointing out what it looks like. Black and yellow. Very well. Mr. Wright, let's see your proof. What evidence will finally prove the Phantom's identity? This?
Take that!
Isn't that the bomb that blew up in the courtroom? Or blew up the courtroom? And the moon rock along with it? Are you saying this will reveal the Phantom's identity? Yes, Your Honor. Focus your attention on this photo taken after the bombing, specifically right here. Well, we have a black and yellow thing. I really hate that I can't move the hand. There we go. We have a black and yellow thing here, but we also have a black and yellow thing here. Which one is it? Obviously this.
Take that!
Take a look at this. Please, take a look at this newspaper article. This article about the Hat won. Is that the Phantom then? The person that's down in front of it? Or is that just an employee? Now please note the strange black and yellow rock, there on the left. That's the moon rock. And when we look at this photo of the bomb fragments... 7K. See how there is a rock-like object with the same coloration? Oh my, yes, I see it. It would seem that the moon rock was much more durable than the Phantom thought. If we take a look at all the fragments that the police found, we'll likely find one with blood. And DNA testing on that blood will prove that the witness is indeed the Phantom. Unbelievable. But that's impossible. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. That's one bloody tough rock. Let us have the fragments tested straight away. Oh, and you'll be having a DNA test too. Fulbright. Bailiff, contact the police department immediately and order the testing. Oh, pardon me. Prosecutor Blackwell, what did the test results show? There was a rock fragment that had blood on it that appeared to be several years old. DNA testing revealed... Well, I'm sure you know full well what it revealed. They confirmed it was the witness's blood, didn't they? There's no use in trying to talk your way out of it anymore. Admit it, you are the Phantom. Objection! Wait, what? Huh? Mr. Wright, did you just raise an objection to yourself? No, I didn't say a word. That was my objection, Apollo. Wait, has he got a phoenix mask? Oh god, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Why? It was a pretty good objection, too. Don't you think? What the fuck? How many people is he going to impersonate? Now he's me. So, did you have an objection or not, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, no, not really, Your Honor. No, not you, Mr. Wright. I mean the witness, Mr. Wright. Could this trial get any more insane? I like how his name is Phoenix, question mark. Mr. Wright, this fragment of rock in the photograph, and those just like it. How can you be sure they're pieces of the moon rock? Of the same moon rock that was at the robotics lab? Care to explain what you mean? Well, there may have been a rock or two in the courtroom that had my blood on it. But how do you know they're not just rocks? You can't prove that they're the moon rock, right? Objection! Actually... we can. Don't be absurd. It was a very random object that we got added to our court record. And stuff that gets added to the court record always has a use. Just compare the fragment with the rock in the newspaper article. Anybody can see they're the same. They have the exact same coloration. But maybe some other rock with the same coloration happened to be in the courtroom. It's highly unlikely a rock with such a unique appearance just happened to be there. But you can't deny it's a possibility. But your blood was found on one of the fragments. Apollo, there's nothing suspicious about my blood being on a piece of rock. And why not? I know it sounds like an excuse, but... several years ago I tripped and fell in this very courtroom. I was hurt pretty badly. Maybe that's how my blood found its way onto a piece of rubble. Even he must realise how ridiculous that sounds. And yet, I suppose it's not completely out of the question. I see you're starting to sweat, Mr. Wright. I thought that the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. You're the last person I want to hear that from. Well, then why don't we get those fragments analysed? We could ask an expert to verify if they were from the moon rock in the robotics lab or not. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that just isn't going to be possible. And why not? In order to prove that the fragments are from what you say they are from, you'd need a sample of the moon rock from 7 years ago. to compare it with, and we have that. But that moon rock doesn't exist anymore, and there's no sample data left either. So you see, short of going back in time, there's no way to prove that any of the fragments are from that moon rock. Oh! No! There's really no way to prove it. Are you finally ready to throw in the towel?
Objection!
God, they look so done. Jesus, their face. It's like, oh god, again? So the moon rock doesn't exist anymore, huh? That's right. It was such a valuable rock too. A shame, really. But it's lost to us forever. He's wrong. It's not completely lost. There's another piece of it, right here by our side. A shining fragment of hope that can turn everything around. The final piece of evidence to put this phantom away for good. The defense has a piece of evidence that completely contradicts your claim. You have what now? A final fragment of hope that was passed down with great love and care. We do, and if you look at Athena real closely, you can tell where it is, or you can tell what it is. It's nice and yellow. There we go, that's all the hints I need. Thanks for the follow. I don't know how you say your name. Malaphytus? Maleficus? Ficus? Shit, I didn't read that. Crap. By the way, I appreciate the follow. We do, even if the person holding it hasn't realised it yet. Is this true, Mr. Wright? Pay no attention to him, Your Honour. He's just bluffing as usual. I wonder if you'll be able to force your biggest smile when you see what I've got. Try me. The piece of evidence that shows the original moon rock isn't completely lost is this. And there we go. An earring that Dr. Sykes gave to Athena. The stone was cut from a real moon rock that was being used for research. Ta-da! But just about the only things my mother left me with are widgets. And this earring. Maybe she did love me, in her own way. Athena, you may not know it, but your mother left you a very left with you a very important piece of evidence. She did? You're bluffing. You don't have anything of the kind. Oh, but we do. Evidence that will finally corner you. Because we have a moon rock of our own. Yeah. We do? Oh! You mean... Exactly. A gift Dr. Sykes left her daughter. An item Athena has cherished and worn all these years. As distant as Dr. Sykes may have seemed to her daughter, that fragment of her love. Bloody hell. Will shake off the darkness of the past and give us all hope for the future. This is the defense's sample of the moon rock. It's an earring. That's your sample. This earring that Miss Sykes always wears was made from that original moon rock. What? All this time? It was right here all along? Hell yeah! Go look at all three of us. No. It can't be. If the composition of the bomb fragments in the earring are found to be a match, then it will prove beyond the shadow of a doubt the origin of the fragment in this photo. And since the test results showed that the blood on the fragments was yours, this means that the identity you tried so hard to hide will finally be revealed. The identity I tried to hide. I don't have an identity to hide. I may not have Athena's ears, but now even I can hear the fear in your voice. Fear? I don't feel fear. I left all of my emotions behind years ago. Every human being feels fear. You simply can't face the emotions inside you. You can't face them because you have nothing. No love, no trust. And I suppose you do? I didn't have anybody to support me at first either. I couldn't face the fear inside me. Couldn't get over the trauma of my past. Like I said, I don't feel fear.
Objection!
Yeah! Then you're just a coward for running away from yourself. When I had my doubts about Miss Sykes, I felt like I would collapse under the weight. But I wanted to trust her. And I know I could trust Mr. Wright to uncover the truth. That's why I was able to face my suspicions without hesitation. Running away from myself? Can all three of us do the finger point? How can I run from myself? Like in unison, when there's nothing inside, nothing at all.
Objection!
I know it's hard for someone as unwilling to trust others as you to understand. But people have emotions, it's just a fact of life, and so people can be weak at times. But that's exactly why people need to trust one another. So they can gain the strength to face themselves when things are at their bleakest. Without trusting others, how can you ever hope to face your fears? Oh. Is his mask gonna finally slip? The fear inside of me. Is this? No. Oh god. I'm afraid. I'm scared. I feel fear. Yeah! You can't outrun yourself. Remove that mask and unleash your emotions. I'll show a shot of all three of us doing it, please. Confront your guilt head on. Yes! There it is. With your own true face. Oh god, I don't like how he looks. My own true face? No, please don't. I know you're here. Where are you? See, I haven't revealed anything yet. Honest. What's his breakdown gonna be? My own true face. I don't have one. My face. Oh dear. There's Ted Tonate. Ah. Is this my face? Is it? Is it? No, that's not it. Oh wow, this is cool. Going through all of his different faces. This isn't me either. Is this me? Which one is my face? What am I? Who am I? Oh dear. Oh. Was he just shot? My god. Oh wow. The mask fell off, but you can't see his actual face. Ah, dicks. Would have been nice to know the person's identity, although they wouldn't have had any significance, so it's not like it would matter. Holy balls. A sniper attack in this very courtroom. It chills me to the bones, or to my bones. But the police are doing everything they can to track down the sniper as we speak. Prosecutor Blackwell, how is Detective Fulbright? I mean, his imposter doing? He's a lucky fellow. The bullet didn't hit any vital organs. He appears to be in no danger of dying. Well, that was fortunate for all of us. The analysis of that final piece of evidence Wright Donner submitted is in. The composition of Miss Sykes' earrings and the fragment with the blood on it match. We can now be certain that it is a fragment of the moon rock in question. The murders and bombings at the Space Center, both past and present. The bombing of courtroom number 4, and all of his other crimes, as numerous as the stars. Under suspicion of all of these things, the spy known as the Phantom has been incarcerated. The prosecutor's office is now responsible for his well-being. My god, we finally did it. There are still a myriad of things we wish him to tell us about after all. Thank you, Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, it's time to finally bring this trial to an end. But before I do, will the defendant please return to her proper place? Oh yeah. Yes, Your Honor. I forgot she stepped up to the defence's bench. Whatever. Now then, This court finds the defendant, Athena Sykes, not guilty! Holy crap. Oh, look at us, we're so happy. Court is adjourned. Whew. Bloody hell. So there it is. That's the end of Dual Destinies. God, what a game. This was really good. I especially like the new presentation. It just looks a lot... I mean, it still would have looked fine if it was the 2D sprites. Or 2D... oh yeah, sprites. But I think the 3D models work a lot better, especially when it comes to the investigations, because you can view it from, like, multiple different angles. Congratulations, Mr. Nick. Thank you, pals. And thank you for being there for Athena. It's the least I could do. But Athena was great, wasn't she? She was so strong throughout the whole trial. Hey! I'm so glad to see you. Trucy, are you alright? Are you hurt? I'm fine, Daddy. Oh yeah, I forgot Pels and Trucy, were they at the same place? I was doing magic tricks for the other hostages to keep our spirits up. Of course. That's our Trucy for you. I'm really glad to see you're safe. There's Edgeworth. Right, I fear I owe you yet another debt of gratitude. Edgeworth? We never would have caught him if it weren't for all of you. Oh, come on, Edgeworth. What are you talking about? You're the ones who have been tracking the Phantom all this time. Plus, you were the one who gave Blackwell permission to serve as prosecutor, right? Yes, well... we knew the Phantom was somewhere nearby. The police and I were trying to find him, but we never did manage to do so until this trial. Well, we never would have won this trial without you. It was your help as chief prosecutor that was the key to its successful conclusion. Besides, it was you that saw to it I got my attorney's badge back, wasn't it? So you figured it out, did you? Yeah, getting my license back went just a little too smoothly, you know? It should have been much harder after that evidence forging scandal. Well, I owed you a few favours. Hey, Edgeworth. Think we can finally bring the Dark Age of the law to an end? Even the darkest night turns to dawn eventually. Our sun will rise again. Besides, now that Prosecutor Blackwell has been cleared of all charges, a great deal of the mistrust towards the court system should have been swept away. You know, you could have said that with a bigger smile, Edgeworth. It won't kill you. Instead, the furrows in that brow of yours just keep getting deeper and deeper. So I should smile more, huh? Or is he actually gonna? I'll think about it. Ah. Now the complicated love-hate relationship between lifelong rivals. Athena? Oh, it's Blackwell. I'm forever in your debt. You went to all that trouble, even taking the bar exam while you were overseas. Well, I knew that if I didn't get your sentence overturned fast, you'd be executed. So I studied and studied. I was frantic. I'm so glad I made it in time. Is she gonna cry? Just barely. But I still made it. That a girl, Athena. It's good to see you finally let your tears out. Yes, I survived by the skin of my teeth, thanks to you. Shame on you, Simon, for trying to throw your life away like that. It was never my intention to just throw my life away. But some things in this world are more important than your own life. Like what? My honor-bound duty to protect... My honor-bound duty to protect with my life. My mentor's most beloved treasure, Athena. Huh? That's some loyalty. This guy really is a samurai, through and through. Well, it looks like we can breathe easy now. Apollo, Athena, thank you both. It took all of us together to pull it off. You bet, boss. What a team we are, huh? It was definitely the most amazing turnabout I've ever seen. I'm a lucky guy. My office has the best, most capable lawyers around. Thanks, Mr. Wright. I'm going to work extra hard to make up for all the worry I caused. Apollo Justice is fine and ready to go. Let's hear it for the Right Anything Agency. Well, nobody's gonna try harder than me. So you'd better watch out, Apollo. Simon is free, and thanks to Mr. Right. Oh, thanks to Mr. Right. But there are so many more people out there who need our help. You're right, and I'll be needing you both to help them. We still have a long way to go. Cutscene. Get ready, you two. We won a major victory, but the war is far from over. There are still people out there suffering under false charges who need defending. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. If we ever hope to fully bring the Dark Age of the Law to a close... Hey, I know one thing we have to do. We have to celebrate with a bowl of piping hot noodles. We're off to Eldoon's. Nothing like a bowl of Eldoon's noodles, after a trial, all on Mr. Wright's tab. That's how it works at the Right Anything Agency. Right, Mr. Wright? Huh? Huh? As a boss, it's your duty to express gratitude to your people for their great work. In that case, allow me to join in the festivities. I would greatly welcome to a bowl of noodles. Huh? 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 I have an idea, Daddy. Why don't you just invite everybody involved with the case? The more the merrier, right? Oh, Mr. Nick, look how far you've come. Who knew you'd grow up to be such a generous gentleman? Guys? Under these circumstances, there's only one thing I can say. Objection. Only if I get to join in. Hey, no fair. I want to say it too. Objection. Okay. Here we go. Ah, there it is.
Objection!
Ah, nice. Hey, there it is. As is tradition with Ace Attorney, I have to watch the credits because it has this. I was trying to think of something nice I could do for Polly now that he's back. So I decided to go around and get a bunch of jobs for him to do. Find a lost cat, install an air conditioner, give a computer lesson, find a lost item. You think I should have found him a few legal cases? No, that's okay. This is the Right Anything Agency after all. Yeah, I love the credits for this game because it gives you, like, extra scenes, which are the best. It's Junie. Tina and Apollo were so wonderful. I better start one... Crap! My grandma says, eat lots of peppers and then ignite your passion. I didn't get to read half of that. But should figure out which to grow. Green peppers or yellow peppers? Or maybe I should go with hot as the sun red peppers instead. Oh god, she's still head over heels for Apollo. Because I stumbled my words, I couldn't read it. Ah, what a game. I don't think this was as long as Trials and Tribulations. The end of the Dark Age of the Law, you say? Tisk tisk, how naive. Don't you know it's sometimes necessary to get a guilty verdict by any means possible? What? They're putting me under investigation? The chief prosecutor wants to see me? Yeah, Trials and Tribulations, I believe, was 80 parts in total. And this is a probably 64, 65? It's longer than Apollo Justice, by a lot. By a good... I don't know, good couple hours. But now to debut the Great Mass Wrestler, Temataro. He's scheduled to go up against the Amazing Ninetales next, though. Oh, what to do, what to do. A fight to finish with myself. Why don't you ask Mr. Demon Lawyer to be the Amazing Ninetales? That's not a bad idea. I bet he'd be all for it. But we are to meet as foes, are we, my little friend? Yeah, I think Apollo Justice was 40 parts. Would you believe it? I'm Alderman of Ninetales Vale now. Took over after Rex Cubic. Fuck me. What do you say? Would you like to make a little donation to help us out? Hey you, what do you think you're doing? Sneaking into the manor. The jig's up, better make a run for it. Jeez. The text just goes too quickly sometimes. Either that or just read too slowly. Probably me just reading too slow. I thought I wanted to be an artist, but after seeing the amazing job Athena did, I started becoming genuinely interested in law. So now I'm studying for the bar exam. I'm going to prosecute Athena someday. You'll see. I'm studying my buns off too, but not for the bar exam. I'm going to pass the Theme of Centuries exam on my own merit this time. With a score of 100 points, of course. Q, Juniper, our dream will live on forever. Oh yeah, because he was... like, he wasn't buying his grades, but his parents were. Something like that. I found really sweet boxes of all three of them, but they won't wear them. Is it because I want to to be a legal journalist instead of a lawyer or something. But anyway, thanks for the trial. School newspaper's feature is as bright as it can be, or bright as ever. Now let's see what Fresh Blood have to say in the new Skill newspaper. I read it, I cried so hard at graduation rehearsal, her cardboard box got soggy. Nice. Surprised we didn't get to see her face. Hey, Clavier! The one-night only reunion concert. I still remember that evening of passion. The president of the student council sang like no high school student I have ever heard. When she's a judge in her own court someday, I'd love to have a jam session with her. Be the coolest trial ever, yeah? I can already hear it now. How many more people is there to go through? Fair few, I would say. Pearl. I gave this place a good cleaning from top to bottom. But it's already a mess again. I guess the only thing I can do now is clean up the attitudes of the people in this office. With Mystic Maya due to come here once her training is over, it simply must be done. It won't show any of the people from the DLC case. No. I don't think it'll take that into account. Unfortunately. Oh god. Yuri! Humanity's dreams for outer space will never die. In fact, planning for the HAT-3 rocket has already officially begun. Look upon me, people of this great nation, and witness the glory of Yuri Cosmos. What are you? Oh, Director. Yes, yes. Rocket preparations are fully complete. Yes. Just leave everything to me. Assistant Director Yuri Cosmos. Who's the director then? Starbuck? Who else could it be? I don't know. I would have said maybe Starbuck. Oh, it's Ponko. I'm going to the moon in the next rocket. If Athena or Mommy Metis came to the moon, I would love to show them around. But which is more interesting? Montes? Oh, whatever. You think they would like either one? Yay, hooray! I wonder how Miss Aura is doing. Oh, she's in prison. I'd rather be near Miss Aura than on the moon. No, Miss Aura, I just want you to use me again, like you used to. That thing was just asking to be abused. The karate chop to the neck, constantly getting smacked on the head. Starbuck, ready for launch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. I'm going to the moon for real this time, for me and for Clay. Thanks to my lawyers, I know now I should never give up, but I'm worried. You can't breathe in space, and in fact, it's cold as heck. Ah man, now I'm getting really nervous. His signature sigh. How many other people are there? Blackwell! No, I am not employed here. I simply came to request their services in defense of my sister. But no one's around, and I've been kept waiting for a long time. What sort of case brings you here? Oh, your father was accused and you wish for Athena to defend him. Then perhaps he and I shall meet in a courtroom in the near future. Oh. Is there many more people to go through? There's Edgeworth, I guess, maybe. I look forward to your next month's salary assessment. Please forgive me, oh it's pain. Blackwell's acquittal has brought all manner of ills in the prosecutor's office to light. It would seem solving that case has thawed the chill of winter into the warmth of spring. Now I owe Wright yet another debt of gratitude. But I will repay him one day. You can trust in that. Right, what else is there? Oh, is that it? Oh no, it's showing pictures. Awesome! Cup of Tea Productions Incorporated. What the fuck? Bones? Yep. Thoroughly enjoyed this. It took me a really long time to get through, but... you know, it happens. when you end up not playing the game for a month. So now all we have left is Spirit of Justice and then the Great Ace Attorney. And depending on how long it takes me to get to those two, we might have the Ace Attorney or the Great Ace Attorney 2 as well, but I doubt it. I don't know when the fans translation for that's going to be done. I'm hoping it'll be available for both 3DS and Android though. Fingers crossed. Like, I know these are intended for the 3DS, but for one, recording the 3DS is a pain in the arse. Unless you've got, well, either a really beefy computer to emulate, or a chipped 3DS, which I wouldn't say I have either. Emulating 3DS is just too much of an annoyance anyway. But then, for Android it just looks better, and emulating Android is not hard at all. You can run Android games on basically a potato. And yeah, as I said, they just look so much cleaner on the Android version. The only difference with the Android version is there's not two screens, and it has that little sidebar at the side to maintain the aspect ratio. But I quite like the sidebar, to be honest. Not dismissal. Oh yeah, I don't want to skip, because I have a feeling there's probably still going to be something after the credits. Like, I don't know, there might be a cutscene. Who knows? Oh my god, there's so many people worked on this. What I'm realizing. Promotion Japan. It just keeps on going. Oh god, it looks really weird with a slash right through the face. And there it is. Whoa, why the hell did that get, like, so much quicker? Capcom Code Limited. Not LTD. I don't know what LTD stands for. I thought it was limited, but probably isn't. Cutscene? Hey, cutscene! Is it the launch? The Hat 3?
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Aw. They're all seeing it from their different areas. And there's Aura. Whoa, she actually has her hair down. And you made it.
Mr. Starbuck!
You'll be fine. Just believe in yourself.
The moon's closer than you think!
Oh. Yeah, that reminds me of Yakuza 4.
Thanks, guys. I wouldn't have made it back into space if it wasn't for you.
It was a success.
All right.
There we go. Is that it? Title screen? Or is there more? There's another case! Oh man. Oh, there is more. Through the years, I've seen as much joy as heartache. Honesty is deceit. But just as Mr. Starbuck was able to escape the harsh pull of his fears and despair, I believe that hope and friendship can lift us all up towards a brighter tomorrow. Ta-da! Episode 5, end. Yeah! Awesome. That was a fucking doozy of a case. For one, the twists and turns. The plot twist for Fulbright being the bloody Phantom. Wait, what? Check out our full lineup on Google Play. No, because I have them all installed, you dunce. Sheesh. Self-promotion in your own game, how dare you? Can't believe you would do that. I'm just going to click onto the extras and DLC so it gives some sort of sound. There we go. No, we have... I mean, technically you should have the Cosmic Turnabout and Turnabout for Tomorrow as one case, in which case it was 7 bits, and probably like 12 hours long. God, what a game! I loved that. Absolutely incredible. And there we go. That is going to be the end of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. On to Spirit of Justice, I suppose. I can't wait to start that, to be honest. It's going to be interesting. That's also a pretty lengthy game. But regardless, I'm starting to ramble, so that is going to be the end of Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this adventure, and until next time, take care. And for those who stopped by the stream, thanks for stopping by. It's much appreciated. Have a good day, and I'll see you next stream.